Environment Minister Dr. Denis Lowe has made his first public appearance 2 weeks after he was admitted to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. But the occasion was a sad one for him because he was attending the funeral of his mother, 79-year-old Sylvia Springer, née Lowe, who died earlier this month. The funeral service was held at the Mount of Praise Wesleyan Holiness Church in Tudor Bridge, St. Michael. Several of Dr. Lowe's parliamentary colleagues attended, along with workers from the Drainage Division, family and friends. Dr. Lowe was warmly embraced by Barbadians who wished him a speedy recovery from his recent illness. Well, last Wednesday, Prime Minister Freundel Stuart assured Barbadians that Dr. Lowe was expected to be discharged from the QEH and back in office soon. This was the second time in as many years that Dr. Lowe has been forced away from his ministerial duties due to ill health. He was admitted to the intensive care unit in 2011 and was out of office for an extended period. Mrs. Springer was eulogized by relative Anthony Green, and he said her life was an example of the power of faith, hard work, compassion and love. He said Mother was a strong disciplinarian who kept the family unit running.
If you ask anyone to describe Mother, they will tell you the same thing. She was a selfless woman, a God-fearing woman, a loving and caring woman who would give her last to make sure others were all right without thinking of herself.
The Reverend Joel Cumberbatch said while Mrs. Springer loved to be dressed, she feared the Lord and knew of his benefits.
She was mannerly and respectful, and indeed respectable. Indeed, Sister Springer was a disciplined woman. Anyone who can raise 10 children and raise them well had to be disciplined. She knew what it was to cut and contrive. She knew what it was to prioritize. She knew what it meant not to hang her higher than she could reach it. And she was not tall in stature.
Dr. Lowe's mother was laid to rest in the churchyard of the St. Andrew's Parish Church. The police in Barbados are tonight looking for one of their own. They're seeking the public's assistance in trying to contact Police Constable Denis Lowe. His last known address is Horse Hill, St. Joseph. Constable Mundell is asked to contact Assistant Commissioner Williams at telephone number 430-7115 or Operations Control at 430-7255. Anyone who may know the whereabouts of Constable Mundell is asked to contact the police emergency number 211. The head of the National Initiative on Service Excellence says Barbados will have a tough time emerging from the recession without strong leadership. Chief Executive Officer Kim Tudor is of the view that this is the biggest challenge the country faces at present. In an interview with CBC News, Ms. Tudor said many Barbadians are panicking and need direction from leaders at all levels to meet the demands of the new global and more competitive environment.
At a time when we are in a recession and it is affecting individual companies as well as the country, I think people are panicked and uncertain, and it is the role of leaders to bring some context to that and some vision to that so that people can see that there's something to aim towards. So the role of our leaders is to paint that picture, give that context and inspire people to go forward. You would have a situation where this recession is going to demand the best of everybody in the world, and we want to show what we are made of. And I think that the inspiring leadership can bring out that.
Referring to the NICE initiative 100 Improvements in 100 Days undertaken last year, Ms. Tudor explained that it helped employers to focus less on the recession and more on driving productivity. She says that's the way to go.
The companies who participated were so focused on trying to get improvements that more than one person said to me, oh, we forgot that there was a recession happening. Because you're not focusing on that, you're focused on a clear vision. And I think that that's what inspiring leadership can do. And I think that if we had at all levels leaders who are willing to ensure that they set the context for their employees, and they set a clear vision and lead them towards. So you have to be at the front leading. You can't be at the back and saying press ahead. You have to say follow me.
Honey Jam Barbados is seeking to unearth the talents of women in Barbados. Producer of the show, Denis Lowe, says there is a wealth of talent on the island and many Barbadians are not being given the opportunity to be seen or heard. She believes her show can assist in developing such individuals. Well, yesterday it received a much welcomed donation of $10,000 from Scotiabank, who has signed on as a sponsor of Honey Jam Barbados. Lowe welcomed the partnership, saying it comes at a time when businesses are cutting back on sponsorship.
Sponsors cut is their support of cultural events. They become some of the first casualties. So we're especially appreciative that Scotiabank is sponsoring Honey Jam this year and putting money into music and encouraging creative expression. We don't look at it as them doing us a favor. We see it as them being good corporate citizens and partnering with us to make an investment in young people, in culture, and in the industry and business of music, which also will provide employment.
Marketing manager with Scotiabank, Amanda Lynch Foster, says the vision of Honey Jam is similar to the bank's own Bright Future program.
It is really important for us to see the work that Ebony has been doing and that Honey Jam has been doing in encouraging and nurturing these young artists. I don't know if any of you were there last week. I went to the auditions last week at Divi Southwinds, and there were so many young girls there, many of whom hadn't been seen before outside of maybe their school choir or their church choir or just their friends and family. And Honey Jam really gives them a literal platform to showcase their talent and get their name out there and start to get these bigger opportunities that can lead to them being signed or becoming a songwriter and so on.
More help is on the way for Barbadians needing assistance in developing their business ideas. The Bridgetown-based Ideas and Solutions Group is planning a series of seminars in which it will seek to empower and educate Barbadians. Head of the group, Bishop Andre Thomas, tells CBC News that the concept is in response to the current economic downturn.
It's for men, women, it's for the young, the old, and the in-between. It's for everybody. If you have an entrepreneurial idea on the inside of you, if you have a dream of actually starting your own business, if you have those ideas on the inside of you, then we can help you. And it's free, and it's going to be held in churches all over Barbados or in community halls all over Barbados, and we're going to come to a parish near you.
The first seminar gets underway on October the 4th until the 5th at the Wesleyan Holiness Church at Tudor Bridge, St. Michael. Barbados has added its voice to the growing support for the framework for the elimination of Syrian chemical weapons agreed to by the US and the Russian Federation. In doing so, it fully associates itself with the recent statement issued by the Caribbean community. According to a Government Information Service release, Barbados is looking forward to concrete measures being undertaken by all concerned to give full effect to the agreement reached between the US and Russia for Syria's stockpile of chemical weapons to be brought under international control and destroyed. The release says, as a state party to the Chemical Weapons Convention, Barbados strongly condemns the use of chemical weapons and is of the firm view that perpetrators found using chemical weapons must be held fully accountable.